Today was the coldest day we've had in this entire winter. It was 50 below. Almost all the signs I saw was 50 below. Yesterday I was running and where I was at was 50 below, but it was recorded at, I think it was recorded at the airport 50 something below with a wind chill of 66 below. It's like, yeah. It's so stupid, man. It's so dumb. I think this is the 10th or 11th day of 40 below.
Wow.
In a row.
Everything's like
and
frozen
I don't know how many
solid.
days. I think it's like it's Golden Hour Adventure Time, featuring everyday people doing extraordinary things. From the peaks of victory to the valleys of defeat, these are their stories. Now, from the back of the pack, your hosts, Justin and Robbie. Welcome to Golden Hour Adventures. So for you guys that don't know at home or in your car, or maybe you're taking a poop, I don't know what you're doing right now while you're listening to us, but we're happy that you have us in your headphones, in your car, whatever it is that we're listening, or you're listening to us. We're not listening to you. But we always have to do this countdown. It's like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you hear my voice. Welcome to Golden Hour Adventures. It's just always such a weird, awkward time for us because we're like talking, then we hit record, and then we got to wait 5 seconds, and then we start. I don't know, Robbie, has it ever been a thing to you? Like, have you noticed that?
It's always like that weird awkward silence that.
Hey, something else that's awkward? UltraSignUp broke again.
Is that awkward, or is it
getting
to be a normal?
It's a trend.
Thing?
It's a trend. It's a trend. So
Trending,
I had an athlete that was signing up for Javelina, and then a really good friend of mine is signing up for the Javelina 100K. And my friend signing up for the 100K has never ran an ultra before. So she's a very experienced marathoner. She kind of asked me a couple questions like, what do you think, a 50 miler, a 100K? And she's like, I think Javelina would be a good one. I'm like, yeah, I think 100K. I mean, you could jump from a marathon to 100K. Like, she's an experienced runner. She's been running for years. Like, somebody who's brand new, I probably wouldn't suggest that, but Javelina being the course that it is, the support that they have, her experience in running, I said, yeah, go for it. 100K, I think is doable for sure. But she was messaging me while she was signing up because it's only 10 o'clock here, right? And she was like, what is going on? They don't have like weight rooms or any of this stuff. So she's never signed up for an ultra. She has no idea about UltraSignUp. And she picked one of the worst ones to sign up for because they let so many people in that it just floods their system. But I was hearing reports from either my athlete or my friend that it took 30 minutes to get in. How crazy is that? 30 minutes. I'd be so pissed.
I saw, I was out running and you messaged me and I was just laughing. Actually, Mike was with me at the same time and told him it broke again. And like he's been searching for races because every race he puts into, he's not getting into. So he was like,
Mike joined the club, brother.
Yeah. Mike's. So we were talking about, he was talking about his year, and he's like, he signed up for Zion 100K, which you can, just sign up for, but none of the hundreds he's been able to get in. And he's like, well, I'll be on there later today signing up for the Superior 100, the lottery for that. I was like, oh, good luck.
Yeah.
He never said anything, so I imagine by later that night. But I was on social media, and it was a Javelina 100 page, like group page on Facebook. Someone had posted something about how UltraSignUp sucks. Then, a bunch of people were on there. Some people were like, well, this is the RD's fault for, putting a race registration on January 1st. And I'm like, how is that the RD's fault? No, it's not the RD's fault. It's UltraSignUp's fault for not being able to hold the bandwidth. Anyways, I didn't, I guess I kind of knew, but I didn't realize. So the big problem is, with Javelina, you can rent tent sites. I guess that was one of the big things where people were getting the best sites also. So that also means that people that are not running were on UltraSignUp getting a tent site to crew or to be there for the whatever, right? So that was another big thing. 100K sold out, right? So now there's a wait list for that.
Yeah, the 100 mile and the 100K sold out.
Did the 100 mile sold out? But people were saying how they didn't get emails. It just spun forever, like you're saying. Later that day, they got an email that they didn't get their tent spot. because like I was saying, there was a bunch of people trying to get the, like, you've been there, I don't know. Like, I guess the tents up by the finish line are probably the big ticket items there, and first come, first serve on UltraSignUp.
Yeah, so it's like it's pretty crazy. So you run, and it's about a quarter mile of tents, and it's pretty exciting. Like if you were running the race, it'd be pretty exciting because it's just like everyone cheers for you as you're running through, unless it's the middle of the night and everybody's asleep. But yeah, they have all these tents just set up, and it's just, they're just like the 10 by 10 sunshade tents is what they are, and then people, have their crew and stuff underneath them. But yeah, it's like a first come first serve type deal. I think they give you like time slots to come out and set your tent up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure how the tent setup works, but yeah, Rising Mountain Coaching, the coaching platform that I coach for, they have a tent out there every year because it's one of their big races, being Phoenix based. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting deal, and I think that's what brings a lot of people in, is the amount of support that you get in the tents there. So, but yeah, like Rising Mountain, they go on and they get a tent site every year, and they're not running. So I could see how, all of these like companies get tent sites too. So like Runna was out there, Tannery, Sunscreen, Squirrel's Nut Butter, like all those big companies, they also have tents. And so I'm not sure how it goes just because they're sponsors. If they have to, reserve a tent site, I'm sure they don't. But all of these companies have tents, whether they're like Rising Mountain Coaching. I know the Everyday Athlete was out there as well. John Cursion, those guys were out there. They had a tent site. And so it's just like everybody goes on there and just gets a tent site. And I think that, screws the registration up at the same time, because everybody's trying to register for the race, and they let, I think it's 1,000 people run the entire, I think between all the distances is 1,000 people, which, if you're primarily in the marathon world, that doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're running a trail race, that's a lot of people. And they do split it up. They have like the sub 24-hour group, and then they have the plus 24-hour group, and then they have the 100K group, and then the 38K. Is it a 38K or 30K? I forget what it is, but the 20-miler starts that night. So they're split up pretty good, but still you're starting with a couple hundred people every time you start. So yeah, I think that's but it wasn't just Javelina. There was a lot of races that opened up on January 1st. And I hate to, like, we talked a little bit before we started hitting record, like beating a dead horse here with like, oh, UltraSignUp broke again. But it's just like, man, when is something else going to come out? Because this is going to continue to happen. And no one wants to go to a lottery. Like, I get it, the race is going to get super popular. You're going to have to go to a lottery.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it should be first come, first serve type thing. And if you're quick with the button, you should be able to get in.
There was some talk on that group chat too that everyone's like, Jamil just needs to open his own company. So we were talking about that.
I think he will. Like we already talked about it, but I'm certain he's there.
It was funny because some people were like, well, this is starting to affect, Jamil's races or Viper races, other races too. And when's the end? Where's the the finish line for someone else to, open up and start something new? And everyone's like, Jamil's, an entrepreneur. He's got to have his toes in the sand on this one. He's got to be thinking about it because it's affecting his races. I'm sure he gets some flack about it too. So
I'm sure. Hey man, I think our weather's about to break this week. I think we're about to get into single digit negatives.
Single digit negatives.
I know.
It's going to be freaking,
that's crazy. I know. Think about it. Today was the coldest day we've had in this entire winter. It was 50 below. Almost all the signs I saw was 50 below. Yesterday I was running, and where I was at was 50 below, but it was recorded at the airport 50 something below with a wind chill of 66 below. It's like, yeah. It's so stupid, man. It's so dumb. I think this is the 10th or 11th day of 40 below.
Wow.
In a row.
Everything's like
and
frozen
I don't know how many
solid.
days. I think it's like 36 days of negative temperatures. It's just like, man, this has got to end. But I don't. It's dropping. We're getting into single digit negatives this week, but I don't think that we're gonna get into positives.
You got to
It's
take
funny
what you
that
can
we're
get,
like,
though.
oh, it's single digit negatives. We're all going to be out celebrating.
Well, I'm over here in
But yeah,
Rapid
yesterday
City,
we were,
and it was 63 degrees this morning. Mid morning, and yeah, that's unheard of here. Like it should be single digits or maybe negative with the wind chill, but we've had like the warmest winter so far, and I am not complaining.
it's 120-degree difference.
It's crazy.
Oh, it's so stupid. So stupid. But yeah, yesterday
Yeah.
was fun, man. I don't know how running a negative 50 we thought would ever be fun, but every year I think I've broken my own record. I think last year I had 2 years ago I had a 40 below. Last year I had a 39 below, and then this year I had a 50 below. 9 miles at 50 below. But if you're wearing the right gear, it doesn't. It's so weird that, and I have a video that we made. It's like you can't really talk when you're running at that temperatures because the ground is so loud.
Oh, yeah.
So every step is just like that. It's that weird, crunchy, like that super loud, cringy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's wonderful, but at the same time, it sucks. But you're trying to talk to people and you're like yelling at them, hey, and they're right behind you. So it's just funny. But yeah, if you have the right gear on, and we were talking about it, how it's like, once you get warmed up, you always want to start the cold run a little cold. And then once you get warmed up, like it's not that bad. I ended up going and picking up like kind of a mid-layer puffy, a real light mid-layer puffy, and that kind of was a saver because I have mid layers that I use all the time, but it's not anything compared to negative 50. I would have froze. So I picked that up Friday night with anticipation that being really cold on Saturday, and it saved my life.
So run us through your layering system.
All right. So I just wear a pair of like thicker socks, right? Merino wool socks, they're thicker pair. They're kind of like medium weight, basically. In the summertime, I'll run in like ultra lightweight socks. These are medium weight. I have a pair of Solomon Wintercross shoes. So they're just the Solomons. They're just tennis shoes. And then they have a built-in gaiter with a zip up. And so they're waterproof. They keep the heat in my shoe. My feet don't get cold at all in those things. And that, they got the Solomon grip. They're perfect. They're studded just like all the other shoes. The reason I don't wear my Mountain Coast that are studded in those temperatures is the uppers are my toes would be frostbit by the time I got done. It's just amount of snow being let in. Like you have to protect your feet as well. So using that, that waterproofing type stuff, and yeah, just you have to have it. And then I have my John G tights as my base layer. On top of my base layer, I have there's like, I don't know what they are. They're like wind pants, but they're thermal lined wind pants. I put those on over top of my John G tights. And then I have a pair of puffy shorts that go over the top of those. And the puffy shorts, they're also craft puffy shorts. So they protect the front. So men get cold in the front of their legs. Women get cold in the back. So my puffy shorts are just puffy in the front, where women's are puffy like all the way around type thing. So women have the like a puffy skirt. And I've ran in the puffy skirt before. My wife has one. I've ran it. It's kind of nice. You have more freedom with your legs and stuff, but it's not as warm as the shorts because they put more emphasis on the rear than the front. So for my top, I wear a merino wool. It's kind of a thicker merino wool shirt as my base layer. I picked up that it's just an REI brand, trail ready, like puffy outdoor type. It's a lightweight puffy, basically. I wear it on top, and then I have a shell that I wear on top of that. So the shell just kind of keeps all the heat in, and it vents, but at the same time. And I do wear my pack, but I wear my pack against my base layer. When it's that cold, and it needs 2 layers of protection so it doesn't freeze, and it still froze. My pack still froze. So
yeah, I don't think there's any way around it.
At 50 below, everything's gonna freeze.
Yeah.
I have a buff that I wear. It's got a merino wool base to it. And I wear the buff. Then I have my, I don't know is it a baklava or a balaclava? I don't know what you call it, but the detachable face piece.
A ski mask.
Yeah, it's a ski mask, but it's it's a full head. And then it's got the magnetic face piece that comes off. And then I wear a merino wool.
Okay. Gloves.
Gloves. I found these gloves. They're ski gloves, I believe. They're craft ski gloves. They got like a canvas outing to them.
Yeah, I know which ones you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, they're like waterproof and they're thicker than crap. Like I don't wear them anything. If it's below 0, I'll wear them, but anything above 0, I can't. My hands sweat. My hands were sweating yesterday. It's crazy. We were talking about having one of my buddies on, Kyle, and Kyle was testing this system out yesterday where he takes rubber gloves and puts rubber gloves on and puts his, I've seen people doing it and I'm like,
I've
oh,
seen
okay,
people doing
yeah.
it too. Yep.
But I'm like, in our temperatures, would that really work? But he was like, dude, it works perfect. And I'm like, well, man, maybe I need to try it. Because I always struggle with if I have like a real lightweight merino wool base glove in my big gloves, they just get soaking wet. And it's just like, then I pull my hands out and I got wet, hands and they freeze immediately. So it's almost just like, just use your regular, just don't put anything under them. But I'm like, maybe the other one, the rubber gloves would work really well. They're kind of, just like medical gloves, not rubber gloves, but yeah, I guess they're rubber, but medical gloves. So
maintenance mechanic gloves, ones I wear every day.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm going to try it out. He said it worked really well, so I'm going to give it a shot. But yeah, that's the layering system. It worked really well. Obviously, it's completely dependent on the weather. Like when it's going to be single digit negatives next week, it's hard to say. I'm not going to wear what I just wore when it was 50 below.
You could be wearing shorts and a just
right.
your puffy.
I think what I'll take that puffy that I bought. I think it's going to be a great little. It's not necessarily a puffy. It's weird how it's weird. It's a different design. But anyway, I'm going to take that and that'll probably be an outer layer. It'd probably just have like a merino wool base and then I'll use that puffy as my outer layer and I'll try that out in single digit negatives and see how that works. But yeah, I like to play around to see what works and what doesn't. I know Jackie, we had her on and she talked about, taking notes and it's like, I'm not that organized. I'm like 2 months ago when it was single digits, what did I wear? I think I wore that.
Then you go out. Oh, I'm too hot or I'm too cold.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I will make an adjustment.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, man, it was fun to get out. It was something that was needed for sure. Like we haven't ran together as a group for a couple of weeks because of the temperatures. So it was something that was definitely needed. And I think next weekend's gonna be perfect. So I'm looking to get a good long run in next weekend.
Nice.
Speaking of long runs, you told the audience that you were gonna be jumping into your first ultra on the 1st. How did that go?
It went well, better than I thought it was gonna go.
Walk us through your day, man.
So New Year's night, after the recording in the future, I got all my stuff ready to go, threw it in my van, and I was got up on New Year's Day. I got up at it was like 4:20 in the morning. Then it wasn't to get high this time. That was something new. That was 3 years ago. Got up. I wanted plenty of time because I was like, I wanted to be able to hit my watch right at 6. I was trying to simulate a race, and I actually did a pretty good job at it. Got up, made coffee, did all the stuff I would do on race morning. Took it easy. It was nice having everything packed. Got there too early. Got there at 5:30, so I had 20 minutes to spare of sitting there. Did a little meditation, all that fun stuff. Then as soon as it hit 6, got out and started running. It was a little chilly, not as chilly as you, but it was chilly and it was a little humid. Everything was had the crystals and the air was really cold. So I was dressed warm enough though. Went out and I just started walking. I was like, I was simulating Stories Ultra, which is it's a loop course. Then you have to do them in order. So my first loop was like 3.5 or something like that. Then I just did 4, then 5. Then Mike was going to meet me at 10. So I was like, well, by 10, I want, or by 9, excuse me. By 9, I want to at least have 10 miles to go. So when I do 10 with him, I'll be at 20. Met up, we went out. Man, he wasn't feeling good, but he had the flu but he was a soldier, man. I could tell something was up because he wasn't talking much. And, then he was like, then I looked at him and he was all pale. And I'm like, then he told me his wife, anyways, he got 9 9.7 miles. It was great. Those like 10 miles went by way too fast, right? So when he left, I was at 20 miles, and that's when you and I were talking. At this point, it was really warm. I changed into a t-shirt and shorts, ate a bunch of food. I had my van there, so just come back and it was full of my food and all that stuff. Went back out, did 3-something miles, and I didn't want to. This was a weird thing. I didn't want to carry water. I didn't want to carry soft flask. I just wanted to keep my vest light for some reason. But I had those Arrowhead bottled waters. They're like 20-ounce bottles. And what I'd do is I'd grab one of those bottles, and there's a garbage can up on Skyline Drive at the top at the trailhead. I'm like, okay, just walk to the top. It's only a mile, and throw your bottle away in the garbage. So that's what I did for, I don't know, I think when I looked in the garbage when I was done, there was 6 or 7 bottles in there. So that's what funny. I did for water. Yeah, I started slowing down. Like I said, I was walking pretty much the whole time. I did some running, mostly walking. Not too many people out for being New Year's. It was a perfect day. It was 50s, no wind. Got back down. At one point, I was having a little low point. I think I was talking to you at that point. I can't remember how many miles I was at. It was like 27 miles or something. I can't remember. And I was just a little behind on food.
Yeah, I was close to that, 29 or something like that.
Yeah, I was eating tons of food, and like it's kind of weird how much food I was eating. I was eating mostly real food. I took a bunch of dates. I had a bunch of dates, burgers, beef sticks, cheese. I'm still finishing up a lot of the food from Cowboy 200, so it was a lot of that. But then I haven't tried the tater boost, and I was like, well, this is the perfect time to try the tater boost. So I tried the turmeric and garlic one, and I filled it up to the line, mixed it up, and I'm like, well, I'll just stick it in my vest and maybe it'll warm up, because cold potatoes didn't seem that good at that point. Started walking. I drank a drink with like 300 milligrams of caffeine, so I was feeling pretty good. Ate all that food, so I didn't want to eat any of that potatoes. I got over whatever. I was over the ultra at that point, and I had another one of those little down points where I knew I was getting low on calories, carbs, whatever. So I ate that tater boost, and that was very interesting. I didn't have a spoon, so I added more water, because like the recommended amount of water was like a cake like thing, and like I could pull the pieces out with my hand, and it was kind of grossing me out, to be honest, because it wasn't like mashed potatoes. I was like thinking of like your mom's mashed potatoes. So I added more water. Then, anyways, I was able to eat that, and they're delicious, man. Those things were perfect. It was so savory and so different. Definitely going to be in the toolkit for Stories Ultra and Pilgrimage. It was so savory. It was like my whole palate was cleansed after that. And I remember I got back after I told you I hit 31, I got back to the van, and man, I loaded up on candy and ate a bunch of dates and a bunch of candy because I was just getting sick of sugar. I took a couple of those carbs gel and some Precision. And if you guys have tried those carbs gel, they are so they're too much, but they work so good. Too much. Like, they are so sweet.
They are too much, man. They are too much.
Don't like,
but
know
they're
how to put
good,
it.
dude. They work. They work.
They work amazingly well, but I don't know how to explain it. They're just too much. Like, it's way, yeah. So the tater boost changed it up. Then at this point it got dark. I put my waist belt back on, and my dog was with me the whole time. And at this point there's no one on the trail, and it's, the moon's out, and I'm just cruising, and I'm walking and listening to stuff. And like we were talking that night before, or in the future, it was like, how quick those things go by, and next thing you know, it's over. I was like looking down at my watch, and I had an hour to go, and I'm like, at one point I'm like, boy, an hour is going to be hard, and another point, it should be easy, because after you stack all that stuff, and I'm like walking, and I think I need to look at my laps, but I think I got the most mileage on that at very end part. I think I got 6 miles in like an hour and 15 minutes or something, maybe a little longer. But I got back to the van, and I was like, I told you I could get 37. Went up the road, came back, and as soon as I got back to the van, it turned 6 o'clock, so I shut the watt off. Then I got in the van, started. I'm like, this is already over. The first thought through my head was like, that was way too easy. It's probably not a good thought, but that's what it that's what it was. But I kept my mind busy, and this is something I think post sobriety um is different with me now, because I know if I was still using, I would have been like anticipating being able to go use after, like be able to get drunk and get high and all that. And I probably would have been getting high during it. So I would always use those as like the finish line, like goals, like, oh, I can go have a beer after and I can get high. As soon as I sit down, I can start smoking or whatever. I don't have that. So like I sat down and was like, okay. But as you know, I got a call from my daughter, and I had just started the van, was getting ready to head home, and she's like, I think your dog's dead. I had just finished, like, within 5 minutes of finishing. I was in the van because our plan was to go eat New Year's dinner together. That was the plan. So she was like, let me know when you're coming home, and I'll be ready to go. So as soon as I put it on my way, she called me and told me, I think Bailey's dead. So go home, and she was passed away right by the door. She gutted it out. She was 17 years old, so she had a long life, wonderful life. I was thinking about it. That dog's been on more summits than a lot of people will ever be on in her life. She's done a lot of cool shit, been multiple states. She's not quite the ultra dog as Lucy, but she's ran multiple 20 milers with me, and lots of like I said, lots of mountain summits. So got home, had to kind of think what I was going to do with her. So everything switched. Decided what I was going to do with her, took a shower, then me and my daughter went and ate. And it was a little sad, dinner time. I just accomplished this cool thing that I set out to do. Then we ate dinner, got to hang out with my daughter, talk about, the new year and remember Vailey and all that stuff. Went home and went to bed. Well, I tried to go to bed. But my mind was going a million miles an hour for all different things, death of my dog, just finishing that, all the caffeine I consumed within not a very long time, all the candy and sodium and all that stuff I ate, and my body was just like, you're not going to sleep. But yeah, so life keeps throwing stuff at me, but I'm pretty proud of myself because I've been handling with temperance. I haven't been going the old route of myself and freaking out and using that as an excuse to use. So I was pretty happy with how I handled the death of my dog. I actually went and buried her today. Well, I didn't bury her. Trying to bury her in the Black Hills is like trying to dig through rocks. So I found a cool little place and right next to a creek that I'll get to run by and put her in there in the rocks and covered it all up and said my goodbyes, and that was it.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Well, it's a good spot that you'll get to run by a lot.
Yeah. It's a good little spot to, she loved the water. I could never keep her out of the water, and the creek's right there, and she's kind of overlooking the creek and in a cool little spot. I didn't know where I was going to put her. Then I just drove to the spot and got out and walked, and I was like, oh, here it is. So another thing that we're just there.
It's cool. Yeah, you had a heck of a day, man. I was getting updates the whole day, and I was excited to see that you got, your first ultra out of your 12 that you're trying to get for the year, and then you hit me with the Bailey news, and I was like, dang. I had met Bailey after she had already lived her life, and
Yeah, you did.
she was couch potato Bailey by the time I met her.
Yeah.
I know she had lived. I don't even know how many times she's been to like Leadville and Hard Rock and all those crazy places. And
yeah, I think I've told the crazy
trails she's been on and summits. And
I'm sure I've told the crazy Hard Rock story about her here, where she got out of the car and was hanging out in the gym for many hours while I was passed out in the back of my car.
Yeah, you did tell that story.
She's kind of I wouldn't say she's part of the Hard Rock family. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
She was accepted with open arms in the gym.
That's cool. Well, that's something you can always look back on, man. You got all those great memories, and she lived a heck of a life. And so it's something you could be proud of is, you see these dogs and you feel sorry for them, but they're just chained outside, and like, that's the life that they live. And it's like, Bailey actually got to go be a dog. And so it sucks that their life is taken so short, even though 17 years for a dog is incredibly long. I had one pass 2 years ago that was 17 as well. So it's an incredibly long time for a dog, but man, the life that she lived, you have to be proud of.
Oh,
that you gave that to her.
And in Lucy, she was with me that whole 12 hours. I'm sure she got her PR. She doesn't have a watch anymore because she likes to keep losing them, and I'm going to quit spending money on watches for her. She just keeps ripping them off. Like, I'm not buying you another watch. Her highest mileage, I think, was 38 miles, and I did 37. And so I'm pretty sure she probably had 45 or 46 miles in 12 hours. That was definitely her longest outing too. So now it's the irony of Lucy being out there in Vailey where she's at. But like I told you, I'm pretty sure Vailey gave me the strength to get through that one, because there was after the ultra distance, I'm like, I could just call it. I still had 3 hours, but for some reason, I'm like, I'm just gonna keep going. I did it.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. That's cool. Have you decided what so your stories is your February one?
Yep.
Stories. And remind us again on the platform of stories.
It's a 15 hours that with the loops, timed event pretty much. And the reason I wanted to do this 12-hour in January, the month before, was like, because I figured if I do 12 hours, it's only another 3 hours, right? So I'm very confident now that 15 hours is not going to be a big deal. Even with the weather, it's not going to be that big of a deal. I don't have like a mileage that I'm going after, because the pilgrimage is really like a test, right, of what I'm willing to endure. So I try not to put a mileage stamp on ultra or on stories. Just get through the 15 hours. Then the next morning, I got to wake up and do 20 miles. It's part of the hardcover thing that he has going. So wake up in the morning. It's in a campground, so I just sleep in my tent, wake up and do 20 miles the next day. 15, then 20. I would love. I'm going to throw miles out there just because that's what I'm going to do. But this is definitely like B goal, C goal. I'd love to get like 70 miles in those 2 days. I think that'd be pretty good. Yeah.
That's what I was kind of thinking. 50 miles on Saturday and then you're 20 on Sunday.
Yeah, because I wouldn't beat myself up really with 50 miles in 15 hours. It'd be pretty chill. I mean, I had over 6,000 feet of gain at the one on New Year's Day, right by the house. So I would imagine I'm going to have close to that with stories, maybe a little bit more. So
the crazy thing with stories is the unpredictiveness of the weather.
Correct. Yes, correct. Yeah.
It could snow 30 inches.
It could.
And John being John, he's going to keep the race on if it snows 30 inches.
There was one year it snowed. It probably snowed about 30 inches, and we had to shovel out the camp spots for people to camp in. We got their snow shovels.
Yeah, I had a buddy that was running that year, and he went still.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. That was a fun year,
It's
actually.
crazy.
That was a very crazy year. I didn't run that year. I just volunteered.
We'll have to, we'll have to get your March planned out. Yeah.
Yeah. I got to get
your March planned out.
March and April.
Dude, I'm telling you should come up here and run a race with me in March.
Might have to.
Come run a winter race. That'd be awesome.
That would be.
Well, hey, man, you did an incredible feat, and that's super cool. And I don't want to downplay it by the next thing that I'm about to say, but have you ever heard of Tracen?
This feat is way cooler than my feat, so it's all good. Yes.
If you guys don't know who Tracen is, she's probably the most accomplished ultra runner. I'm not going to say female ultra runner. I'm going to say the most accomplished ultra runner. She's won Western States 14 times. How long did she hold the Leadville record till it was broke
this year?
last
Till
year?
Ann Hughes broke it.
This year it was broke. Okay, this year. I mean, how long does she own that record?
I don't want to put a number on it, but I think she said early 90s.
Yeah.
93, 95, I want to say somewhere around.
Yeah, long time. I wanted to say 30 years, but I wasn't confident in that number, but
you're close to it.
But I mean, if you go and you just look at her portfolio of ultra wins and ultra events that she's participated in, it's insane how accomplished she is. She's 65, right? And she has rheumatoid arthritis. So she has a walker now. She was at across the years, and I could be wrong, but I thought she was trying to get 31 miles. She was trying to get an ultra in.
She was just trying to get a 50K.
But because of the support that was out there, cheering her on, she ended up going the distance and getting a 100-mile buckle. Like, how crazy is that? It's so inspirational to me. Man, I can't imagine what it would take for someone in, in her condition to push forward and get 100-mile buckle. It's just like, wow.
Yeah, when I saw it the first time, I was like, I haven't, I knew who she is. She's been around forever, especially when I first got into it. She was kind of um done pretty much. But, all those wins at Western States, like it's like Scott Jurek type thing. She just kept winning year after year after year after year. Then I don't know who was on Instagram. I don't know if it was Troll Whisperer. Someone had some stuff of her and was talking with her when she was walking. And that's the one I saw. I think the one with Callie Vincent was the big one that kind of got it going, the picture. But I was like, what? Then you and I kind of had discussion. Then I kept following it. I was like interested. Then I was like, man, with where she's at in life and what she's accomplished, just to go out there and gut out 100 miler with a walker, just to do it,
Insane.
just to do it.
Man. And you said someone who has rheumatoid arthritis, and so like kind of the pain that they go through, and so you can imagine like what it's like,
Mm-hmm.
Being in that type of condition, and she not letting that stop her or let it slowing her down, and went out and got 100 mile.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder,
Crazy.
it'd be interesting to hear her take after, the person I know with the rheumatoid arthritis, when they really bad in their knees, and they say every time they take a step, it's just like sending shock waves up their leg. Super painful. So if she, has the same thing and she just walked 100 miles every step of that pain. But I wonder if after a while, just like normal 100 miles, the pain just goes away. Or you put it away. Like most of the time, we put it away. Let's be honest. We just put it away because we have to. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. I sure she'll be on 400 podcast, and so we'll get to hear
we'll find out
her take afterwards. So, but she's not much of a interview. I don't think she does interviews very often. So I'll be intrigued to see if she does go on any podcast, because I think she's been pretty quiet since her Born to Run book, but not really hers. She's been pretty quiet. So I'd be intrigued to see if she does go on any. But anyway, man. Well,
did I say Ann Hughes or is it Ann Flowers? Didn't we get the name wrong earlier this year? The lady for Leadville. The lady for Leadville.
Oh, Ann Flowers.
Ann Flowers. Did I say Ann Hughes or did I say Ann Flowers?
I think you said Ann Flowers.
Okay. I just was having one of those.
Maybe you did.
Moments. I'm like, did I misquote the person?
Too funny. Too funny. Well, hey, if you like this podcast, please leave us a like, leave us a review. Robbie works his butt off to get the YouTube up. So go over there. Even if you don't watch this on YouTube, just do a little subscribe, give us a like, get on your favorite platform, Spotify, Apple, leave us a review, give us 5 stars. And as always, if you want to come run a -50, come up here and we'll see you on the trails.